What's up, y'all? This is Tom, and this is Like a Math Class. In this video, we're going to run through finding the equation of a line where we're given 2 points, and we're going to look at solving it using a couple different methods. Let's get to it. So we're going to try and find the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. Now, we've talked about in previous videos, we've actually talked about 2 different methods. We've talked about the point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m, which I'm going to make orange here, times x minus x1. And we're also going to look at the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. That's a plus sign there. Let's make that clear. All right, and we are also going to call this, we'll call this x1 and this y1, and we'll call this one here x2 and y2. So in order for us to find the equation of this line, the very first thing we need to have is our slope. So we have to go to the slope equation as well. And we didn't write down the slope equation yet, so let's do that. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we use the points that we've indicated over here, y2 is 2, y1 is 5, and that's going to be over y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is minus 2. So our slope in this case is going to be 2 minus 5, which is negative 3, over 2 minus a negative 2, which is 2 plus 2. So we're going to have a slope of 3/4. So in both of these equations, both of these different methods will have the slope of negative 3/4. So let's start by looking at using the point slope form with our first point. And we have, we'll use our first point number 1. And that's going to be y minus y1, which is 5, equals our slope, negative 3/4, times x minus x1, which is minus 2. So we do a little bit of simplifying. Y minus 5 is equal to negative 3/4 times x plus 2. We have to distribute our 3/4 across our x and our positive 2. So we have y minus 5 is equal to negative 3/4 x, and negative 3/4 times 2. So let's do our little bit of scratch work. Negative 3/4 times 2, that's going to be 2 over 1. So we're going to have negative 6/4, or minus 3 over 2. And then we're going to add 5 to both sides. And we're going to have negative 3/4 x minus 3 over 2 plus 5. And again, doing some scratch work, we need to get a common denominator for our 5. So, our common denominator would make it 10 over 2 plus a negative 3 over 2. So we're going to have 7 over 2, a positive 7 over 2. So our equation for our first, using our first point, is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 7 over 2. So that would be for our first point. Now let's see what's going to happen if we use point number 2. Well, we actually know what's going to happen. We're going to see the same exact result, but let's see if it's any easier. Let's see if choosing a different point makes it any easier. So we're going to have y minus 2 now. 2 equals negative 3/4 times x minus 2 as well. All right, so we've got our same points, or our point number 2 here. So y minus 2 is equal to negative 3/4 x. So we have to take that negative 3/4 and multiply it by negative 2. Negative 3/4, and we multiply it by a negative 2 over 1, we're going to end up with a positive 6 over 4. And then we get y is equal to negative 3/4 x plus 6 over 4, or actually let's make that plus 3 over 2. 3 over 2 plus this other 2 from right here. And so now we have to get our common denominator, and 2 over 1 2 over 1 to make it over 2. That's, of course, going to be 4 over 2. So we're going to have y equals negative 3/4 x plus 7 over 2. Again, same exact thing that we got once before. Now, the difference being, this seems like it may have taken one less step, but that's only because I didn't do this simplifying. We didn't have to do this simplifying in here. And really with this one, you probably don't even need to do it there anyway. All right, so let's look at the last form using the slope-intercept form. And this is everyone's favorite, but let's see if this is any easier as well. So we already know to start with that our slope is negative 3/4, but we don't know our x and we don't know our y-intercept b because neither of these points is our y-intercept. So knowing that these are placeholders for any points and that we don't know this yet, we could put either one of these 2 points, we could put either one of these 2 points into this equation and solve for b. I don't think either one is really going to do much difference as far as calculations. So I'm going to use this green one here just so I can have a positive 2 and not have to work with as many negatives. So I'm going to put 2 is equal to negative 3/4 times another 2 plus b. And then we have 2 is equal to negative 6 over 4. Where have we seen that before, right? And now we have to add this to both sides over here. So we're going to add negative 6 over 4. So we're going to have 2 over 1 plus 6 over 4 is equal to b. We still have to do our common denominator. So we still need to look at what is this with 4 as a denominator. So 2 over 1, if we want to multiply that by 4 over 4, we're going to have 8 over 4, and that gives us a value of 8 over 4 plus 6 over 4 equals b, which is going to equal 14 over 4, or if we had done this earlier, if we had simplified this to 3 over 2, we could have simplified that as well to 4 over 2. But anyway, we look at it, we're still ending up with 7 over 2 is equal to b. So y equals negative 3/4 x plus 7 over 2. Now, what we're seeing here is all of these things are coming down to the same equation. Sometimes if you're asked, you might be asked to leave it in point slope form. If that's the case, then of course this is going to be easier because you just drop in those values, and actually that would be this form right here or this form right here. Either one of those would be acceptable. Or if we wanted to put it into slope-intercept form, which is where we often go to, we would use any of these 3. And, this might be about the same process, with your fractions here. I may have added in some extra steps, but I don't want that to be like, oh, see, this is more steps because I added more calculation steps in there. It's really about the same. But knowing that your point slope form comes from the slope equation, knowing that it might be easier to just drop that in and then calculate from there instead of like working around to get to the b and then back, maybe it's a little bit easier for you. So it's really to expand your equation vocabulary, so to speak, or your experience or your tools that you want to use in your toolbox for when you're given various problems to work on. I hope that was helpful. I hope you can hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.